Hello, Internet! It's Ed Peeler, the Dread Pirate, your shitty Catholic god. And I'm back yet again, just moments away from talking about the Nikki Brennan event. I want to talk to you about Scream-A-Geddon. And Scream-A-Geddon, for those of you who don't know, Scream-A-Geddon is a horror park that's in Dade City, Florida. This October, I want you all to get down there and have a good scary time. It's really awesome, and I'm wearing my swag. I got my my VIP Fast Pass right here, my nice killer clown over here. Got my shirt. Shirt says, "I shit myself at Scream-A-Geddon." It's great. It's really good. So I just wanted to do a quick review of Scream-A-Geddon. I discovered Scream-A-Geddon last year. So, you know, if you haven't noticed, Halloween's kind of a big deal for me. So we got I love Halloween. It's my favorite holiday. I used to trick-or-treat all the time as a kid. One of my favorite things to do for Halloween is go to haunted houses, and stuff like that. And a tradition I've been doing every year is I've been going to Halloween Horror Nights and Howl-O-Scream for the past several years. If I can. The military kind of put a kibosh on that. When I can't do that, I watch scary movies. So we got off to a really good start this year round. Watched some Pat Higgins movies. Watched a little bit of Jinx Media stuff. Watched some of my low-budget horror film stuff. Watched some high-budget horror film stuff. Was watching 1408 the other day, as a matter of fact. Started a Buffy the Vampire Slayer role-playing game. We've got our Halloween Spooktacular going on. And now I finally got off my butt and I went down to a horror park. So I'm going to do a quick review of Scream-A-Geddon for you guys. So the way Scream-A-Geddon works out is it's in Dade City. I'll include the address, some of the contact information in the description, so you guys can go there yourself. I believe they're pretty much open every night for the rest of October, so you can pretty much go down there anytime and have a great time. It consists primarily of a midway, where you have food and a few games and things like that, and then of course they all branch off into various haunted houses. And they do a really good job. The scare actors have a lot of fun with it. They do a couple different neat tricks. There's certain houses you can go for the more intense experience where they put a little glowing ring around your neck. And that means the scare actors are allowed to manhandle you a little bit or make you part of the attraction, stuff like that. Not the type of thing that's for everybody, so you have to... Essentially, the green ring is a sign of consent. It's like, I want you to manhandle me. They do other things, too, like they do like zombie paintball and hay rides and things like that. Last year was particularly good. Last year was my first year there, and it was really neat. We had a lot of the return events this time around, but so I'm just... Enough wasting time here. Let's get to it. Let's talk about the good stuff. So you're right from the midway. You got a couple scare actors walking around just messing with people early on. So while I was getting my my nice Cuban sandwich to start the night off with, basically we had this lovely monster clown lady who screwed with me a couple times, and I got a couple pictures with. So I'll post those up on my Facebook when I get a chance. Probably when I'm done with this video. Yeah, so that was neat. She was a lot of fun. There's this one dude who had this big, he's a monster guy. He has a big twisted face that looks like a sucker. It looks like Parasite from the DC Comics villain. There was one monster who was had no mouth but was in a straitjacket, and of course a couple crazy butchers and psychotic rednecks. One thing they like to do is they have you can look it up online. They do a lot of they have an official YouTube page where they feature trailers. And especially last year, they did these little short films based on every single one of their major houses. So it's they'll have a kind of... Typically what they'll do is they'll do an opening ceremony where a bunch of the scare actors will come out and do a little skit for everybody. It's we're gonna... Last year it was the Clampets, the crazy cannibal rednecks talking about, "They scream again, we're gonna eat everybody." And it was they did this big ritual, about how they're gonna eat everybody in the dead woods. And it was really neat. And I think also the zombie soldiers do something for in the infected house as well. But yeah, so what's to do with Scream-A-Geddon? Well, we got several haunted houses. You've got the Blackpool Prison, which is basically a prison riot going on. You've got 3D Rage, which is all about killer clowns. You've got the Deep Woods, which is redneck cannibals, actually in the forest. You have Infected, which is zombies. And then the two new additions this year were we had zombie paintball. They had last year they had kind of just a simple midway game where they had a zombie and you shoot him with a paintball gun, which was fun. But this time they turned into a whole kind of hayride house experience. And the new house this time is Demon's Revenge. So, just quick sum up of what happened. So, first thing I did for the night was I went to Blackpool Prison. I'm a man. I'm tough. I put on the ring. I got manhandled. I was the new meat at prison. It was pretty awesome. The scare actors who were playing the prisoners had a lot of fun just throwing me around. Just grab, throw into a wall. Grab, throw into a cell. Get over here, yeah! Screaming at me. They had a good time. I was very dizzy coming out of it. So that was fun. That was a good way to start the night up, just getting tossed around the whole place. From there, I went to 3D Rage. Went to the Clown House. And, of course, 3D Rage, it's weird. It's like, again, I'm a giant Stephen King Zit fan. And I think pretty much anybody who likes evil Halloween clowns kind of is, too. So it was interesting because it's like, it's not just, it's weird, like it's one of those 3D houses where they paint it with the, you know, the kind of the glow-in-the-dark neon, like, paint, and you put on 3D glasses and everything kind of jumps out at you. So there's a couple people that are, like, dressed up, like, to be part of the background and just come out at you. So that's always fun. But yeah, it's bright and colorful, and it was, you know, it got off to a slow start. And then, but like, they won me over, like, right in the end. I mean, the house is good. It was, you know, it's a bunch of nice, scary clowns popping out, you having a cackling good time. Right at the end, there is a big hall of mirrors full of a bunch of dummy clowns with monster faces, and a couple of them are real people waiting for you to bump by them. It's a room full of Pennywises. It's the most terrifying thing ever. It was just like, no, it was like, fuck clowns. Fuck clowns. Speaking of fuck clowns, so at one point you run into a bunch of female clowns in there. It's like, hey, you want to play with us? It's like, all right, cool. Had some hot clowns in there too, so that was a good time. It was like those two houses were a good way to start the night off. So it was a lot of fun. There's a couple midway attractions that were there too. They had like a rock wall, which I attempted to climb, and being horribly out of shape, I didn't get too far. I got about halfway up, and the guys running the thing took pity. Well, yeah, you got it halfway. That's better than most people do. It's like, all right, thank you. It's better than nothing, I guess. But yeah, I need to get back to the gym. Zombie paintball. So the best zombie paintball experience I've ever had was 2 years ago in Pensacola when I was stationed there. And the Alabama corn maze that's up there had a zombie paintball attraction, which was really, really good. It's in a hayride. The guys got really into it, talking about the zombie apocalypse going out there, and there's a lot of... They're just acting their balls off. They're acting their balls off. You had a bunch of scare actors who you're not allowed to shoot, who are running around, like, you know, attacking people with chainsaws or chasing the cart. And then when they say you're allowed to shoot again, you run into the zombies that are decked out in the paintball gear. That one was really good. There was, like, tons of zombies all over the place around all this paintball gear and whatnot, and you just, like, and me and my buddy, I went there with two buddies from my base, you know, and we're all like tech rates. We never killed anybody. We never killed anybody in the Navy, but we were good. We were good little sailors there, man. We were careful. We were like, you know, you got like 100 rounds, and you got to pay more if you want extra lead. We didn't waste a freaking pellet. We didn't waste a single paintball round. We were careful. We lined up our shots. We made a lot of headshots. We kicked ass. We were good. I ran out like right at the end, like right dealing with the last zombie. It was really great. So, why did I tell you about this before I talk about the Scream-A-Geddon one? Well, this is where I feel like the park was lacking a little bit. Compared to that, the zombie paintball just wasn't as good. I think the biggest problem was there just didn't appear to be a whole lot of scare actors who were dressed up in the zombie paintball. Every single... This, instead of being in a hayride, which it was in the corn maze one, it was all on a bus. And the bus looks really good. I think they did a really good job, like, souping up the bus to be like this post-apocalyptic thing. And it basically drives you around in the woods to various locations that are all like, you know, a rundown post-apocalyptic zombie place. That all looks great. Like no complaints on the set decoration. They got a couple like rundown cars and all sorts of cool stuff like that. That's fine. The problem is every location you go to only had about 1 or 2 zombies at a time. And it's like, yeah, compared to like having like again the corn maze one, there was like tons of zombies. There was like hundreds of dudes in paintball gear like lurching toward the car that you could pepper with zombies, and a lot of them were getting close. These guys, it was like about 2 each location. And when they were there, it was fun to shoot at them. They were a little far away, so it was a little more challenging. It was like a lot of the ones in the corn maze one were a little bit closer, so it was easier to like make head or chest shots and things like that. These times, in order especially to make a headshot, it was a little bit harder to get them. And on top of that, we were on a bus, and so the bus was kind of rocky, so it was a little harder to aim. Basically, it was challenge mode. So yeah, that's kind of cool. It was a little more challenging than the the standard zombie paintball. But then the last section of it, there was just actually no zombies. Like the lady came up, and there's this huge chunk of area which you could tell they had like a bunch of like rundown buildings and cars and whatnot that were like, there was supposed to be a ton of zombie actors, and there was just nobody there. And so we just kind of like shot our paintball guns just to get them out. Now I don't know. It might have. Maybe there was something going on behind the scenes. I'm hoping that they've, like, from what I talked to another guy, Jesse, who worked there, who said, like, man, they told me they had, like, 40 people out there, something like that. I'm hoping maybe there was just something went wrong that night, and maybe more people are out there. It was fun. It was fun. It was cool to be doing a zombie paintball thing again, but compared to a previous zombie paintball experience I had, it was lacking a little bit. I think the I'm hoping it was just, like, a temporary situation where it was just, like, they didn't have enough people that night. The big thing on improvement of that is just make sure you got a ton of people. You got a ton of people there to be fodder for the zombies. So it was fun, not the best thing for the night. Speaking of the dude I talked to, so they had another little midway game that was a lot of fun. They had axe throwing. So there's a dude, Jesse, who basically had this little thing where basically you pay $7, you go up and you get like, I think 7 or 8 axes, and you throw at the targets, and he teaches you how to throw an axe. So, gotta sit there like Billy Badass. I made like 4 in the target. It was pretty cool. Hung on talking to him a little bit. Jesse's a cool guy. It was a lot of fun. Got throwing some axes. It was a lot of fun just doing that. So that was neat. Next up, another recurring house is Dead Woods. Dead Woods is not really a house. It's a trail. It's a location where it's set out. They have just kind of a pathway that leads out into the woods, and that is it's an outdoor haunted house. It's a whole big scare zone which they've mapped out, which is just deep in the woods, and you walk a little ways, you build a little atmosphere, and then before you know it, something in the bushes comes out and gets you. And the plot for the Dead Woods, whereas note on the I forgot to mention this for 3D Rage, the Clown House. So one thing I like, again, as a Stephen King Zit fan, not to make too much of a tangent, but one thing I like about it is it's kind of like the 3D Clown House, the 3D Rage House. It's kind of like they're evil, extra-dimensional monster clowns. It's like they're all Pennywise. It's like an army of Pennywises. And it's like, which I just like, again, because that's like, especially reminds me of Stephen King's It, and Pennywise, It is a very Lovecraftian entity, and so anything that reminds me of Lovecraft makes me happy. So it's like, yay, Lovecraft clowns. We all float. Makes me happy. Anyway, back to the plot of Dead Woods. Dead Woods, the whole premise is it's out in the middle of the woods, and it's this, I think the Clampet family are basically a group of crazy, psychotic rednecks who love to eat people. And they're all headed up by Paw. Paw's like the guy in like the head of the whole clan, and it's like kind of trained his like all his crazy rednecks act like kind of a cult. And they capture people and torture them and kill them and eat them. And so what you wind up doing is you're walking through the woods, and it gives you a nice it's a really good trail, so it gives you a lot of time to build up a little suspense and a little chills. And then you start going to these little cabins that are all set out for you. And then, of course, naturally, all the Clampets come out with knives, and you got a couple people trapped. They're like, "Oh, help me! Please, they're killing me!" It's like, so it's good. It's kind of an oldie but a goodie. It was about as good as it was the night the previous year. I actually recognized one of the scare actors from the previous year. It was like the same. This one dude, he kind of looks like a dwarf. This bald dude who's a big furry red beard. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get you," and it was the same dude, and it was like, yeah, so it was pretty good. Consistently. Dead Woods is consistently good. A good house for them. There also might be some werewolves in the woods. I'm not sure. There's a couple people that are hiding in the bushes that growl at you, and I'm like, werewolf? I'm not sure. But yeah. Then we had some more midway games. There was a ring toss, and with the ring toss, I won a grumpy kitty. It's so cute, and it's so grumpy. It's so grumpy and adorable. I'm gonna put it on my head, and it's gonna fall down. All right. So that was cool. There was also the shoot the can game, which I sucked at, which you'd think, it's like I thought I was a better marksman than that, and it was like, no. I won the kitty by throwing a ball into a toilet. That's what I did. That's how I won it. So whatever. Next up, okay, the new house, the brand new haunted house they have there is Demon's Revenge, and the idea is it's an old church. And a bunch of witches that were burned at the stake have come back from the dead, and they've brought hell with them, and they're seeking revenge for all the people that persecuted and murdered them. So you got some scary and hot witches running around. The house looks beautiful. It is like this big, crazy, rundown church that is like you go through it, you want it like deeper in the floorboards, and you want this ghoulish like dungeon they got down there. They've got a couple giant like animatronics down there, which are really cool. There's a big giant monster humanoid demon thing that's like roaring, which is really cool. There's a giant rat, there's a dragon, and there's a giant alligator. Now, again, having done Scream-A-Geddon before, the giant alligator is actually a recurring part of the park. The giant alligator head is a big animatronic alligator head they used for the hayride, the haunted hayride, where it's like it's supposed to be like a ghost town. I think like where it's like everything like I think it's the idea is that the rednecks are running around there, but there's like also like ghosts and ghost cowboys and other monsters and chainsaw maniacs running around. And one of the things that pops out at you there is this big alligator head. Well, the alligator head was in Demon's Revenge tonight, and that was cool. And right towards the end of the house, a redneck comes out and is like, "You're gonna die, boy. You're gonna die." And I'm like, "You're not a witch. You're not." I think the witches had an alliance with the rednecks. I think the rednecks are like into everything. They're like running shit. And I could have swore I ran into crazy rednecks in the zombie house too. And so the last house of the evening, of course, is the infected house. The infected house was probably my favorite from the year before. The storyline is that I think there's a meteorite that lands near some old kind of rundown house in the boondocks. Another redneck house, but not cannibals this time, at least allegedly not. And this meteor goes down, and the family that's there gets infected. They turn into zombies. And so a zombie apocalypse starts breaking out. So the military and a bunch of soldiers and scientists try to fix the thing. And the soldiers and scientists become infected. And so you've got not just zombies and some really good like animatronic zombies that like lurch up and have all these like, you know, all the kind of like the face, like the ghoulish rotting face makeup and stuff like that. But it's like you've got like zombie soldiers running around, zombie scientists, and they're going crazy. And they're like, as they're getting infected, there's no help. There's no help. Oh, you're sick. And again, once again, this is another house where you get to use a ring. You want to be manhandled, and again, I'm a man. Manhandle me. So they put the ring around my neck. It's like, oh, you're sick, and they drag you away and like pretend saw your neck or shave your head. Nice zombie scientist lady said I had nice hair, which I appreciate. That was cool. And the whole thing ends. The whole thing ends with zombie soldiers chasing you with chainsaws, and that is what horror is all about, people. That rocks. That's great. So that's Scream-A-Geddon. That's what Scream-A-Geddon's got this year. I had a blast. It was really good. Check out Dade City. I'm going to leave some contact information. I'm going to leave like their website and their address in the link below. Go to Dade City. Go check out Scream-A-Geddon. Have a great time. It'll be awesome. So yeah, once again, this is the Dread Pirate saying, stay scared.